Here are Brandon Heinz and Mike Driggers on Money 105.5.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you're listening to this broadcast. My name's Mike Driggers and my co-host Brandon Heinz, our Rockstar in the Now show. How's everybody today? How are you, Brandon?
I'm amazing, man. How are you?
I am fantastic and improving.
You have a good drive up?
I did. It was clear. It was easy. I was listening to some personal development, listening to other radio shows to get, sharpening the tools.
Sharpening the tools.
Learning from others that are pros,
Yeah.
So, but it was a good drive and happy day.
Today was actually a good drive all the way around. I mean, even on the way in, there was no accidents that I saw. Everybody was driving kind of mellow.
Yeah.
Same route I always take.
I don't know if it's because of the time change.
Yeah, maybe some people are still sleeping.
You know what? The funny thing is I've seen more people on the road now since the time change. I don't know what it is, because like before, it was darker in the morning, so people didn't. I don't know if they left earlier or where, but for some reason, it's lighter now, right? And so there was a whole bunch of people on the road, but it was an easy drive. It was clean.
Yeah,
it was good. Hour drive.
So on today's show, we're going to be talking about a lot about personalities.
Yes, we are.
And everybody's is different.
Mine is.
How you deal with them, how you interact with them, the personality of every single person is different. So what we're going to be going in today with our guest, Sherry Tree, CEO of Bank.
B-A-N-K, Bank.
And this lady is amazing. We're going to be going in a deep dive with her on her book that she just put out called Why They Buy.
Yeah, she has an amazing program. I've followed Sherry for a long time, and I've actually been through some of her stuff and her course, and I've been involved with a lot of like the DISC trainings and a lot of those programs. So I had a clear understanding of the personality, but the way she has put it together in this program, it tells you right away who the person is and their personality in a sense of like just at the snap of the finger.
Which is huge. I mean, every single point where you are interacting with someone, whether it's in sales, one-on-one coaching, whatever you're doing, relationships, your family, your children, knowing what somebody's personality type is like helps you deal with them a lot better.
Well, it's critical. I mean, it's just like when I was teaching martial arts, and I talk about this during our events, is that 99% of the people are right-handed, right?
Yeah.
There's a very small percentage of people that are left-handed. So you know that the punch is coming from the right. The second thing is you know where the punch is going to, because society's been trained that through movies and TV, and it's coming to the head. So when you know this, you're actually ahead of the game. And so in sales, if you can figure out a lot of this in your marketing and your presentations, the type of personalities that you're catering to, your ideal client, which was what we talked about last week's show, you're ahead of the game because you know how to play into the emotions of that personality.
Yeah, you have the knowledge.
Yeah, and so that's what I love about what her program does, because it identifies, and then you got sales presentations that are catered to those personalities, and you can quickly identify just through some very easy questions, very few questions. So I'm excited to chat with her today.
Yeah, I'm always excited to learn things, and I've even been through this course. I've done the DISC. I love the Bank. I love how people are just basically the science behind it all. It really is a science. So just knowing this is, like they said, knowing is half the battle. What was that, KVIE 6? When I was growing up, I used to see that commercial all the time. But I mean, how you deal with everyone in sales, in your family, just knowing this stuff ahead of time.
Well, think about your communication.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
huge.
I mean, that's communication's probably the biggest fault and success that you can have with somebody. If you're not communicating correctly to individuals, I say one thing and you have into someone's ear, and by the time it gets around through a whole bunch of people, it's a totally different. I said taco, it ends up burrito bowl or something.
Yeah, that's that game called The Phone.
Yeah. So, being able to communicate effectively and knowing these personalities, just again, it takes you to a whole nother level of being at that position to know ahead of time this type of individual. And I think that's critical. And so for folks out there that have maybe not ever heard of DISC or even any other program, but Bank it's the easiest, the most, what I felt is the most modern and easiest program, and you should definitely take advantage. I mean, you know, as we bring in Sherry here in a little bit after break, we're going to go into some of this. But if you're a selling professional, even online, if you're delivering in today's world presentations, and there's statistics out there, and I can't remember where, but there's a statistics that tells you kind of your audience.
Yeah.
But if you can cater to the personalities in each personality, you know, an analytical person needs a lot of detail, right?
Yeah, being able to identify who they are. So in any kind of situation, you've got leads,
Mm-hmm.
then you have the sale,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have the fulfillment. And in most business, they have one of the three going really strong. The fulfillment's really good, but the sales is not working for them. This tool will help you get your sales up. So knowing precisely why your customer buys or what's turned them on about the sales presentation or how they're actually triggered by this is going to help you grow your sales no matter what you're doing. Whether you're serving retail or your one-on-one sales or online sales, Bank is going to help you improve that knowledge so that you know what you're dealing with. So there's a statement that was here that said, most salespeople attempt to sell based on their own personality type.
Yeah.
That's why there's all these stigmatas and basically like beliefs around the car salesman or the insurance guy.
Sure, yeah.
They're great. There's nothing wrong with either one of those trades. But they just need to learn how to sell from your personality trait.
Well, the thing I like about this is that, you know, as a speaker, as a, you know, a rep or, you know, someone that's selling, the biggest thing is if you can get a connection quickly with someone, it starts tearing down the wall of that they put up, you know, that they have this wall. And so you start relating and connecting to your audience quickly. They start hearing, and you can start playing into the emotions of the sale, right, and the psychology behind it. So I think having this and being able to connect with people quickly, whether it's at a BNI networking group, or if it's at, you know, on stage in front of an audience, or if you're on the radio, in the now.
Just knowing each one of them. So like one of the biggest ones in there is nurturing. So in the Bank, there's blueprint, there's action, there's nurturing, and there's knowledge.
Yeah.
The relationships of being authentic and being personal with people and having significance for them in the fulfillment is where this thing really thrives at. So knowing what type of audience you're dealing with is why this is so effective. And knowing that person that you're working with and being authentic with them and explaining the systems that you have and the freedom and the spontaneity that you bring to the table with your company or your sale is going to open up to them faster. It's going to be like saying the exactly right words to someone based off your authentic self and off your authentic company.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's used every day. The more knowledge that you have that you apply into action with this, the better you increase your sales, your connections. You know, I love the book, you know, How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yeah.
Because he talks about a lot of connecting in there, and you know, and so a lot of the principles that I'm sure Sherry will share with us, she's learned over years of experience, and she's considered the #1 personality salesperson in the world right now, and I believe it with their program. It's a pretty great program, and we're going to bring her back here when we go to break. So stay tuned.
Right after the break, we're going to have Sherry Tree, the world leader in personality sales training systems, the Bank Code, and all about her book, Why They Buy.
Yes, Why
in the
They
Now.
Buy. Money Talk
105.5.
Rock on. Welcome back. Wow. What a good morning it is. And, you know, today I'm celebrating my birthday. Woo!
Happy birthday, Mike.
Yes. Happy birthday. I am 18. Again.
Forever.
Forever. So we're having a little bit of technical problems. I'm not sure where
you know, traffic. We talked about how good the traffic was and everything that was going on.
Yeah, so we're having technical problems with Sherry Tree. We built her up such great, but you know, let's move on. Let's talk about
the rapport.
The rapport.
So Bank, the blueprint, the action, the knowledge, the nurturing. BA NK. So just going through the actual values of this. So I mean, in the blueprint, there's stability and structure, planning, process, and predictability. There's certain people who really value this blueprint. This is like the left brain side of your life, really pushing that blueprint, driving it home, knowing what each little step is, having the systems, the planning, everything is moving forward from that step. Then there's the actions, the value, freedom, flexibility, action, excitement. These are all the action values of each personality. So knowing that about people is going to help you a lot. Now, when you're doing this code and you're actually working with the bank code, you can find out how you work as well, so that it helps you interact with what you're actually doing. So if somebody you come across is very action driven, but yet you're very nurturing, then you need to be authentic and personal with them and tell them how that works in your process and how that action can move forward. So just staying on top of it and knowing that about your client is going to be huge. I mean, how many times have you come across a client, Mike, where your personality is completely different?
Oh yeah, I mean, when I'm in sales or dealing with people, I've got that social personality, right? I'm very flamboyant, very, a lot of fun, and trying to sell to someone that's analytical. Oh, it drives me crazy, right? And I've had to learn how to communicate to someone that is analytical, because they want a lot of detail. Me, I want the headlines and what I need to do and point the direction, I'm gone, right? Yeah. So, and especially if it's something I like, but in a lot of cases, you can't sell from that type of personality unless they're close to your same personality. And even then, it's a ball of energy, right? I mean, you still got to understand, because not everybody's 100% of something. You're always a piece of something. So you can be a social director or a social nurturing person or social knowledge, which I'm social director, right? And then knowledge and nurturing. And like you're very director, social nurturing and knowledge. It's weird, because some days I've seen on your side, you'll go from director nurturing to director knowledge, and then a lot of times it's director social type personality that I've noticed.
Yeah, and you. I mean, my lead trait is action and nurturing, right?
Yeah.
So I like to have the A and the N, but then I also want to have the blueprint and be able to back it up with the knowledge. So my number plays all around. So I'm a AKNB. So those of you that are looking at what we're looking at, so you can go to mybankcode.com/Sherry and learn more about how to crack the personality code in less than 90 seconds by just putting your stuff in there. What's the secret? What's the science, the system, the solution? But really what it comes down to is communication. Communication is the responsibility of the communicator, okay? The person who's talking needs to be understood by the other person. Now, we've all been through this, where you're explaining something, and maybe it's your significant other or your children or even another colleague at work or just another client across the table, and you're just not understanding what I'm saying. You're not following me. No, the thing is, you're not communicating it in a way that they can actually intake it. So the communication is the responsibility of the communicator.
Absolutely.
And being in rapport with people is where these things come into play. If you know that somebody is very knowledge driven, the intelligence, the logic, the technology behind everything that you're saying has to be explained to them, the science, then that lead right there, that when you're communicating with them, that you'll break it down in that sense. Here's what I'm saying to you, and here's how it logically works, and here's the technology that backs it. So jumping into that conversation, to lead with what the person is looking for, to be able to take this information in and disseminate it in their brain.
Yeah, I think the key point to what you said there was that the responsibility is in the communicator.
Yep.
Right? If you're communicating something, it's in your responsibility to make sure you're communicating in a way that is effectively communicated through to the individual, right? And I think a lot of times we forget about that we communicate to ourselves. We're not communicating in a way that person can hear.
Yeah, think about the last time that you were just so frustrated that you've explained something to somebody and they're just not connecting it. And we all have that problem sometimes. I have it sometimes just talking with one of my children, and I'm going, wait a minute, step back a second. and realize that I have to come at this approach. And sometimes it's all about a nurturing approach, right? Coming in with just authentic personal significance in the subject that I want done. And it's almost like soft soaping it, right? Or I'm really, really, really nice to get what I need out of it. So I want to be really clear with them and make sure that they know that I'm coming from a nurturing standpoint, but you're going to clean your room.
Yeah.
So there's also ways where I'm going to meet with a client. I'm going to sit there for a moment and I'm going to listen to what's going on, identify the structure that we need to be able to communicate clearly. And a lot of time it's just the rapport, being in rapport with somebody, understanding them, listening to them, just really being in rapport is going to help your sales all the time.
Yeah.
Rapport is huge. The critter brain loves it when somebody's like, they're like me. They're going to work with me. I'm going to be able to understand them. They have the knowledge that I need. Because remember, there's leads, there's sales, and there's fulfillment. That's the sales process for just about every single business.
Yep. When I was talking about the how to win friends, influence people, one of the things that the point that I got from there was that, we have one mouth and two ears.
Yeah.
And the quickest way to build rapport and to really listen to the needs of your customer is exactly that. Just listen.
Yeah.
Ask open-ended questions to listen. And you can identify a personality real quick, like a director personality. They want straight to the point, right?
They're the action based.
Yeah, they're totally. And then the person that's the nurturer, right? They want to know about how they can help or they by doing what they do is going to help somebody or benefit somebody, right? So, the best way is to sit there and listen. And I love it. In the book, he talks about a story where they're at a dinner table and there's a whole bunch of people, and the person to his right, he said maybe 4 sentences in the whole conversation. And, at the end, the guy just loved him and told everybody how great he was, yet he hardly ever said anything about him. And people love to share. They love to share and tell stories and everything. And so when you can get with someone and listen, and that's the probably the greatest thing in sales is if you listen to the hot buttons, as they call it, right? The things, the buzz of what they're having problems with. Ask questions to where, what is your biggest problem today? Or
what's your biggest challenge your company is facing?
Right.
Being curious is going to get you the answers. Like when you look at the lead, sales, and the fulfillment that we talk about, the 3 steps of sales, everyone's trying to fulfill immediately. Like they're trying to sell the fulfillment in the sales process when they should just be acquiring all the knowledge that they need to be able to take action. And just asking questions takes out the sales process. Understanding the bank version of your client, where they stand and what the layout is for them, is going to help you serve them better. No matter what you're doing, if you can actually get into communication rapport with a client one-on-one, over the phone, in groups. Let's say, for example, you're on a group training session, and there's one person that's just really action-driven, but the other person really wants to have it broke down and look at the blueprint of it all. You've got to cater to both of those. You've got to know what you're dealing with when you see these traits, and you need to be able to identify them. Because if you can do that, that's going to make your whole practice much stronger. The way that you greet a customer at a restaurant, how you ask them what they would like, how you do things as a waiter, how you do things as a salesperson, a coach, all of these things are affected by the approach you take in your communication.
Yeah, in the type of jokes you use, right?
The stories that you
tell, all of that. If you've got a nurturing person, you're going to tell stories about nurturing, right? I mean, when you know this, and these are some of the tips that we use, even on our sales funnels and in our videos, our sales videos, and anytime we're on the stage, right? Because that's the biggest is selling from the stage, right? That's probably one of the biggest challenges anybody can. I can do one-on-one selling all day long, but selling to groups, understanding the psychology of selling from stage. I mean, it's a huge business in itself.
Yeah, it
right?
is.
I mean, it's just understanding how to do that, right? There's how you stand at what position you stand on the stage when you're telling a negative story.
Yeah.
When you answer a question, do you stand towards the person or away from the person, where the whole audience, because if you walk up to the corner of the stage and your answer, let's say the question came from the left side of the stage, right? And you walk up to it and you're answering the question to the person on the left stage, you just alienated everybody to the right.
Yep.
So you got to go back to the back
You've
corner.
triggered somebody in the room. Somebody
Yes.
else is like, what is going on the left side of the room over there?
Yeah, exactly.
I want some love over here.
Yeah, so you've got to go to the back of the stage to be able to answer the question on the right side so you capture the whole audience. There's all these psychology things, and that's important because
It's the science.
it's all science, and that's what this personality traits come down to is understanding people. If you can master this, if you can master understanding people, man, your communication is incredible. Your sales cycles will go through the roof. Everything.
Yeah,
when
so
you
I mean,
understand.
go on there and check out mybankcode.com and just take a look at the science behind it all.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll get Sherry on. Not sure what happened, but we've got technical.
Sherry.
Where are you?
Well, this is In the Now, Money 1055.
Mike Driggers and Brandon Heights. All right, welcome back. And, we've been talking about personality traits. We were supposed to have our special guest, Sherry Tree, but it does not look like she's showing up this morning.
The technical difficulties around the world.
I love it. Not sure what happened, but hey, we can talk to personalities.
Yeah, this is one of our biggest key topics we teach in our Design It course is understanding your client, knowing that perfect client.
Yep.
That really, it's just rapport. The rapport that you build with people and how you treat them is a direct reflection on you. So when I said communication is the responsibility of the communicator, in sales, you have to understand this. You have to understand who you're dealing with when you have people in front of you and you're helping them and giving value. Because every one of our businesses has a service of a fulfillment for another human. So knowing about them and what they like, I mean, think about some of the best restaurants and what you love about them. It's the consistency or the way they treat you or the stores that you go to, the way they interact with you is amazing.
Well, it's interesting because the companies spend millions of dollars to know their customers, right? And you see it in today, some of those. Have you ever seen those long sales pages, those web pages that are long,
never-ending pages,
right?
Scroll and scroll and scroll.
They are scientifically put together so that it communicates to every personality, right? And for those that are old school, back in the day, it used to be these newsletters. Remember, you get these sales letters in the mail, and they were like books. Like, I mean, literally, they were 20 pages long of content, and you would see these bold titles that quick points, straight to the point. Those were for your social personalities, your directors, and all the content in that whole thing. An analytical person will read and then even tell you your punctuation's wrong or your spelling. I mean, they get into detail and but they're all done for that reason, to be able to convert in sales, higher conversion of sales. Even colors matter, right? The type of colors that you use in your presentations or in your website. That's why certain logos have the colors have certain energy behind them and personality. So I think this is probably one of the most critical thing to marketing. As we talked about your wow client and knowing your client, but also knowing your personality of your client. Like I said earlier, if you can master this one thing of understanding and how to communicate to those personality types, your conversions are going to go through the roof.
Yeah.
Right? You're
absolutely.
You're
unlocking the secret, the science, and the systems that supercharge your sales.
Yeah.
So some of you that were on this looking at the bankcode.com. So bankcode.com/Sherry and use access code Sherry, CHERI, and she's going to unlock some of the secrets of the science. You can go on there and find out. I mean, this lady has mastered this. We're really representing her because she's the lady that broke through all of this.
Yeah, we'll get her on here in the future. Not sure what happened, but at least go and start looking at the website, start seeing what she's put together in the program, and it's pretty effective. And again, it's Bank, and her new book that she's got out, which I'm excited about because I just ordered it, was Why They Buy, right? And that now talks to me. At least I think is the emotional side, right? We've talked about that people buy for 4 reasons. The very first reason, do they like you? They have to determine that. Do they like you or not? But then they buy on their emotions. Is it going to speed up a process for me, eliminate pain for me, or create pleasure? If your service or your product answers to those three and they like you, your sales, which is the emotional side. So now you're breaking through. You understand the personality, and now you've breaking through and how to communicate to those emotions. And that's what people are looking at. You look at everything in life that you've ever purchased. Did you buy it because it sped up a process, eliminated pain, or created pleasure for you? Right? When I bought my new car, you just got that big old tank.
Yeah.
What is that thing?
It's the Nissan van, NV.
That thing's
12-seater family cabin. Were you on a road trip? Kids are in the back having a blast. You're driving. It's smooth. I loved it because guess what? I bought it off of emotion, but it also speeded up a process for me. I wanted to be able to take road trips with my family.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to communicate in like a little bit more room than just all of us tightened in a little 5-seater.
Well, and I think it did more. It eliminated the pain.
Yep.
Because like you just said, the 5-seater, right? And it created pleasure because it's pretty cool. Like people come up to you and they're like, "What is this thing?" Right? To me, I was like, "This is a tank. This thing's huge."
Yeah.
Right? And it's pretty cool. So it played on those emotions, right? And so somebody that knows that the salesman knew how to play into those emotions for you.
Yeah.
Right?
And he knew right then and there I wanted it so bad he wasn't going to give a price break, so I had to leave. I'm like, okay, I'll be back another time.
Yeah.
So as the deal gets better, so I played on his emotions and said, okay, I really do want it. I love it. I want everything about it. But I identified that he was an action person. He wanted a signature right then, and I wasn't going to do it because I knew if I did that, I was going to get the worst deal ever.
Right.
So it helps on both sides, whether you're the client or the salesman. Just knowing the personality trait of the person that you're working with is huge for you.
Yeah, and especially in negotiations, right? One of the things that that I've learned in the past in negotiation is once you've made the offer or the close, you sit back and say nothing, and you wait. You literally wait until that person talks. The first one to break ice will ruin that. Either you're going to close it or you're going to ruin it, right? If you break ice, so you've got to let it sit back and talk. And then how do you do that with a director or an analytical person? Well, an analytical person, because they are always going to have questions. Which here's another point to that: if you know that someone's analytical, if you can answer the objections and whether director, knowledge, or any personality, if you can answer the questions before they ask them, that's playing into the emotions and especially if they're asked from the point of view of what that personality type is.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you're getting into rapport with them.
Yep.
And what I've learned from learning this little blueprint, action, nurturing knowledge, the bank method, is that you can be curious and let it all solve itself. All of us know that sales is tiring if you've learned the wrong way. If you are old school, always be closing, and you're always trying to close a deal and you're not explaining the knowledge of the deal or how the nurturing value, the authenticity of the deal, then you're missing the whole boat. So learning this blueprint, the actions, the nurturing, the knowledge, these 4 states of the bank method are going to make you a better salesperson. Because sales doesn't start until there's an objection, right?
Right. And if you can answer all the objections before it happens, it's an easy sell. It closes the sales cycle even quicker. And, you made a point about the old school always be closing, right? In today's world, that still applies, but there's some strong modifications to
Value.
it. Yeah, because people can search a lot easier to find things than they did in the past, to see the values, to look at customer testimonials, their
There's
reviews.
Yelp.
Yeah, I mean, see, so
Billboards.
you've got to be very subtle in how you do that. But again, and you play into the type of personality and the nurturing, like you were saying. And look, we have a formula that I've learned that I love it, and we follow, is that we're always providing value. Then we sell, upsell, downsell. We deliver what we just sold, and then we provide more value. Right? That's our formula and everything.
That's the formula.
We do, and so especially in today's social world and social community. So when we get back, we're going to talk about Stump the Chump on Money Talk 105.5 in the Now with Mike Driggers and Brandon Heinz.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, then. So we've been talking about personality traits when we left. You know, here's the bottom line. When you can take psychology to biology, right? Biology.
Yeah.
You're going to increase your sales. That's the bottom line. So Matt, you really, this is the number one skill in communication, is to understand who you're talking to, and it helps in all different directions. And that's what we've been sharing with. And you know, unfortunately, we didn't have our guest, but that's all right. We'll have her next week, or something, maybe not next week, but here soon. You know, because we've got guests lined up all the time. But hey, if you're stuck in marketing, you're having issues, you're not sure, we've started a program called Stump the Chump, right? Stump the Chump. Try to stump us. Go to askbrandonnow.com, askbrandonnow.com, and put in there, what is your marketing challenge? What are you having challenge with? And it doesn't matter what business it is, any kind of business. You know, we've worked with all different types and have been around
some of the
enough.
funniest stories are coming through there too. Like, hey, this is what I've been trying for this business, and hey, I just opened up a new dog walking business, and this is what I've been doing, and hey, I'm at 8 figures a year right now, and I'm trying to get to 9 to 10, and I'm doing these type of marketing challenges, and they're not repeating themselves. So all the questions are valid. Whatever it is that you need help with, go on our social media, go in our live feed, post something up. Go to askbrandonnow.com, ask us some questions, and let's see where we're at. Let's find out what we can do to help you and provide that value that we talk about.
Yeah, and if we like the challenge, then we're definitely going to
bring it on the
air and tell you when we are. And you know what? How would it feel to have you on the air about it, right? Let's talk about it. Stump the Chump. We'll give you your 10 minutes of fame of taking advantage of this. So go there. And by the way, value, we were talking about giving away value, right? Yep. So if you go to the nowacademy.com and click on the courses page, you'll see some of the courses, but we have a client capture course that we give away free, which is really to survey your client, how to survey and find what your audience is asking, right? Ask them what they want, and then give them what they're asking for.
Yeah, exactly. Right? So it's very simple when you start knowing these clients, just to ask them what they want and then give it to them. So check out designitcourse.com. That's designitcourse.com. And just check out the course. Take a look at it. And those of you that are interested, reach out to us. We'll give you a free ticket. If you want to go through the whole thing, you see it's the right fit for you and your personality is ringing true with it, then enter the promo code DESIGNIT105 and receive a free ticket to the designitcourse.com.
Yeah, we have the course coming up in April. The one this weekend is full, and we're moving forward on that one. But in April, we have a course. And then May, we've got our new course that's launching.
Yeah.
Instant Authority Now, right? If you're out there and you've ever had a desire to inspire, or if you've got an expertise, knowledge, or some type of skill that you think that you could teach people, and we can show you how to monetize it and how to and knock 10 years off your learning curve easily with positioning yourself as an authority. And then, or if you're an existing coach, right, or an author or a speaker, and you're just struggling to get to that next level, this course will definitely be for you. And we'll have that up here in the next couple of weeks. But we're just kind of letting people know our new course is coming down the line. The preview, right? And the feedback off of we had the premiere of it, and we had about 25 people, and boy, everybody was raving the review. Yeah, so it's going to be exciting to launch this course. I can't wait to here in the new year. So make sure you take advantage of that.
So just to recap on what we're doing today and kind of helping you guys with is connecting quicker and on a deeper level with your prospects, the lead, the sales to the fulfillment. Cracking the personality codes, delivering memorable presentations is all based on how you interpret, how you actually understand these traits of everybody. So when you're going through this bank review, find out who you are. Look at each code.
Yeah. You may be surprised, right? And some of you may have gone through other programs. I would challenge you to go through this one. It's actually really cool. It's
Yeah, it's one
it's
of the
more
best ones
modern.
out there,
Yeah,
man.
it's a more modern and easy to, especially from a selling standpoint. It was designed from that point of view first.
Yeah.
So it's a great program.
So maximize your influence, capitalize on your charisma. Because if you know what your strong trait is, when you get around people that are just like you guys will connect so fast. So just knowing who you are as a person, how these traits play out in the way that you talk, the way that you communicate is huge. I know for a fact I'd like to just hands down thank my family, all three of my children, my wife, the communication level by knowing where the breakdown are, where the trigger points are, has been amazing for me.
Oh, we should have got your wife on here. She does communication. That's
Oh
what
yeah,
she
and
studied. That's
she'll tell
mastered,
you right
right?
off the bat that communication is the responsibility of the communicator. If you're not getting it off to the right start, then the whole conversation is going sideways. What if you say something right in the very beginning that totally triggers one of the personality types, and all of a sudden the rest of the stuff is just like out the door? They're in their brain thinking about what happened to someone.
Yeah.
Like when the car salesman walks up and says, "What's it going to take to get you to buy today?"
Yeah.
You're like,
Not working
oh."
with you.
Yeah. So there's all kinds of things that you need to look at. And the overall personality and the rapport that you build, that's the biggest piece for sales. Being curious. It's okay to be curious. It takes the sales out of it.
Be an investigator,
Yeah.
right? I always, again, ask open questions and then shut up.
Yeah.
Let them talk. And then tell me more about that.
Yeah. The more that you know, the more knowledge you're going to have.
The more power you have.
And you might even say, you know what, we're not the right fit. I'm not the right person for you. Or this business is, but you're better suited to go see this type of business.
Yeah.
And those are huge too, because that's so much when you have that fulfillment and knowing that fulfillment isn't right for this person because of the way they are. Just think if we had a course that taught one topic and that all of our personality traits didn't learn in that fashion, then that course is not going to be the right one for them.
Right. And that's critical because I've turned away business clients, and I know you have. I mean, you had that gal that did the what was it, something, and you turned her away, window washing or something like that, and then she referred you like 10, 20 clients.
Yeah.
Because she appreciated that you weren't trying to get her money and so on. And I've done that.
So there's things that you have to look at and look at your fulfillment level and say, okay, this person would be better suited going to see this type of coach. Sometimes they just need a planning coach, right? Someone that can organize their closet and their desk. And that's not something that you want to take on, but you wouldn't have known that until after you started working with them if you weren't curious.
Yeah. I mean, we're like some people like an accountability coach.
Yeah.
We're not accountability coaches, right? Nope. We're the, hey, you're driving the jet plane. We're air traffic control, and we're the ground crew that's going to guide you in. You got to drive the plane. You've got to fuel it. You've got to drive the energy. And so, but if you're looking for an accountability type of person, well, we're not that person, right?
Yeah, so then we would refer you off to an accountability coach that would work with you on that level.
Yeah, exactly.
Because why? Because we listened.
Yep.
Because we knew what you were coming across with in your personality trait and what that rapport that was building was. You were better suited to go see this type of person.
And we know how to match the people because of their personality trait.
Exactly.
Right. So you're not going to put an analytical person with a social personality coach, because that analytical is going to literally want details.
Yeah, and this is going to work with you on your employees too by knowing who they are and what they're looking for. Maybe you have an action person, then you have a knowledge person, you have a nurturing person.
Yeah.
Knowing these personality traits about them is going to help your business thrive.
Yeah. Yeah. Communication is the key to everything you do in business, whether marketing, employees, relationships, partnerships, all that. So definitely take advantage.
Yeah, and go take a look at it, called bankcode.com. Unlock the secrets, the science, and the systems to supercharge your sales. Take a look at it. We've been talking about this whole hour today. Just actually get in there, get involved in what's going on. Look at it. Read the book, Why They Buy, by Sherry Tree. And just look into it. Just give yourself a little bit of time to investigate that and actually realize why this is going to help you so much.
Yeah, supercharge your sales up to 300%.
So today,
what did we get? What did we learn?
What I learned is, just communication. Being in rapport with people and communicating straight to them and not actually just being a salesperson, and understanding these little personalities is going to help you a lot.
Yeah. It's sit and listen, ask and listen, open
Be
questions.
curious.
Be curious. Be that investigator.
Be that person that's truly there for fulfillment. All the best relationships you've had are people who listen to you and understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. And look, when you get to this level, it actually becomes fun. When you have this knowledge, right, and you're preparing ahead of time, it actually I kind of have fun with it again.
Yeah.
Like how many folks can we get that are analytical, or how many folks can we get that are action takers, the director personality?
Yeah, and it helps your marketing too. When you
Right.
start noticing these things about people and you go back to that perfect client segment we did, you know the personality that's coming towards you, then you market to that personality.
Yeah, explain that. So
If you know every single one of your people are action takers, then right on the front page of your website it says enroll now, buy now, buy now.
Yeah.
Because you know that everyone that you're marketing to is an action taker. But if everyone that you're marketing to in these long scrolling pages, they need the knowledge, they want to learn the logic behind it, the technology that drives this product that you have, they want to do their research and development, then you know to put very intellectual pages out with a lot of knowledge base on there, testimonials, Facebook reviews, everything. So if you want to learn more about it, go to designitcourse.com and figure out what your next step is to get into one of our courses to start learning these traits, start learning these foundations. And we've been promoting all day long, thebankcode.com. Go on there and take your own personal test.
absolutely. So we'll see you next week on 105.5 Money Talk in the Now with Mike Driggers and Brandon Heights. We really appreciate you and looking forward to many more conversations. And again, don't forget, Stump the Chump. Go to the Now Academy or AskBrandon.com and AskBrandonNow.com, excuse me,
Yeah.
and put in there, what are your marketing challenges, and let us help you. We'll be on the air next week. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.